Bears fans, YouTube, welcome back to another episode of Bears Fans Talk, coming on a very rare daytime Saturday.
Yeah.
But we needed to cover probably, I'm going to call this the number 2 or 3 most disappointing loss that I've ever seen from the Bears. We're doing it a little bit later because the main event, Kevin Haggerty, who I'm joined here as always, just had his second kid. So welcome to the world, Bo Thomas Haggerty.
Thank you.
I've heard great things already.
Yeah. Anyways, no, believe the hype. Bo Thomas Haggerty is here.
Believe the hype.
I do want to thank my wife.
And
I love you so much.
fortunately, Bo was born after this terrible loss. Bo is entering the world as a 0-0 Bears fan.
That's awesome.
Which is something that, as I thought of that little joke, I knew I was going to say this a couple of days ago. Yeah. What do you think the Bears' all-time record during each of our lives are? Ours are pretty different, are pretty similar, I'm sure.
Yeah. But our kids?
I wonder what our overall. No, I mean Cam's is atrocious.
Yeah,
as is Dean's.
Yeah.
Ours is probably pretty bad also.
So, well, let's actually talk really quick about that because it does relate to the game. So, like Sunday night when, or I guess almost night, like when this actually happened, it was so upsetting that the Bears lost. And I was like actually glad that my son was being born the next day because like I actually
take your mind off.
Yeah, it really did.
Because you know what I did all weeks? I listened to ESPN 1000 and they are hitting the panic button.
Dude.
They are throwing the baby out the bathwater. I actually almost wanted to call in and be like, hey, you guys need to just shut the fuck up.
I mean, and so like you asked me kind of like we went trick-or-treating together, which was super cute. Do you recommend going trick-or-treating with your kids? Honestly, dude, it was so cute. Your son was Malfoy. My son was a lion. Just the cutest freaking thing I've ever seen. But anyways, you asked me, or I kind of asked you what was going on, and you're like, they are hating on them. Yeah. And like, granted, I could see that happening, but like, I even listened to a little sports talk this week, like today when I was driving around, and still, dude, it's insane.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of want to be like cool.
Does everyone know that we just came off a 3-game winning streak?
Well,
we have a winning record.
Imagine if we did hang on to this game. What would be the reactions be? And now
the Bears are a playoff lock. Like that's
exactly
what the reaction would be.
And then the other thing too is that so like the fourth down, the play when they ran it to the fullback to the fucking backup tackle or guard or whatever.
Backup center.
My bad. If that would have worked,
yeah, no one would be talking about it.
Yeah. Genius.
Yeah.
Genius. Yeah. Shane Waldron's the next Sean McVay over here.
Yeah.
So like it didn't go the right way, but like at the same time, I've noticed it hit the panic button as well.
So we're going to talk about those plays and more. We're going to start with the name that game, and
sure.
Just to kind of, to me, it's very obvious, and I'm just going to go ahead and play the clip just to put this to
last time we're watching.
For the last time we're going to watch this.
So here you go. He's gotten hit throughout the rest of the game. It's hurting more now. Touchdown to one last play, and it's going to be getting longer by the second. You're all the way back at the third.
When I'm watching this live, I'm just like, does he really need to hold on to the ball this long?
I know, dude. It's a miracle. Fucking A.
So,
hey, I want to hear him say they're going to talk about this for decades because, I mean,
this one will be paid back over and over again for decades.
For decades.
And this one, if the Commanders end up making themselves something this season, like and you think about like the road to getting there, you got to win a couple like this. I think at every great season. I mean, this could be one that goes on to Commanders lore for sure. Probably is there if they have a good season. If the Bears collapse from here, and this is like the downfall of Eberflus and the Bears. A lot of people are projecting to have a real tough time in the division. If the Bears finish the season like 6-11 or 6-11 or whatever. Then this is a play that is going to be
defining.
Defining in terms of like the downfall of this Bears rebuild, like or at least a big wrench in it.
Yeah, it's definitely a career defining play, not career defining, but definitely season defining. I don't even want to call it franchise defining because you hate to see like the way like it was the Jaden Daniels versus Caleb like first like matchup and like that's the way it's going to go down. And like what I was starting to think too was like that pass interference call that Keenan Allen got leading down when they eventually did score the touchdown with Roshan. So like those are the type of like there's a fourth down play. Those are the type of
was the fourth down play the pass interference?
Oh, okay. Yes. So those are the type of plays that the Bears used to not get done. Like I was like, oh shit, the pendulum is finally swinging in the Bears' direction, and like I thought we were becoming that team that I'm not saying gets the lucky breaks, but we do things to put us in a position to win, and things weren't going our way. And then obviously we saw this Hell Mary.
I think that we do need to talk about all the negatives that it's been kind of an echo chamber in like Chicago sports media of all the negatives. I've been wanting all week to talk about like the positives of this game and the way like if we had ended up winning this game, like the things that I end up saying, but even in the loss. First of all, this is to me this is a Jaden Daniels Hail Mary game. I don't think we can call it anything other than that. But to talk about the way that this game went. Offense completely stymied through 3 quarters.
Yes.
Like absolutely couldn't get anything done. There were some injuries on the offensive line. I mean, that was part of it. Caleb, only had in the fourth quarter like maybe 3 or 4 completions, but he only had like a dozen or so passes, and he had to run a lot. Like he just could not get the ball.
I didn't realize the Commanders' defense was that good.
They're not. First of all, they're not.
They looked that good though, which was the problem. Which, by the way, I also want to comment on the Commanders' uniforms. They kind of got it all going on right now.
Oh, the black,
dude.
The black's cool.
Those are tight.
Yeah, I like those.
My wife was like, "Why can't the Bears have uniforms like that?"
I think the Bears. I think we're just kind of like. I think you're very much in the mind. You just like new looking stuff.
Not true. Not true.
I think the Bears have a classic look.
Yeah, it's classic, but it hasn't been changed for.
That's kind of the definition of classic.
Was it George Stanley Hall?
I believe so.
Right, that's what the GSH stands for?
I believe so.
Okay, yeah. But I'm just saying, though, but like, if you look at the Commanders, those black uniforms, those things are tight. I like black.
But, so like I'm saying I want to kind of start with like the positives here. So Caleb looked bad. Mm-hmm. In the fourth quarter, but you know what? Through through all of the drives the Commanders were putting up, and they were having some sustained drives, defense absolutely locking them down in the red zone. Like holding them to four field goals, getting nothing done, bending but not breaking. They missed one. And I'd never seen that before. Like I thought they blocked it. Did you see this play?
Yeah. What happened?
He chunked it. It was like Tony Romo was making a golf joke, or Jim Nantz was making a golf joke.
Really?
He just hit the ground first, or something like that. Like he didn't get a foul through it. It barely made it to the end zone. Really bizarre kick. But that being said, like the Bears held them to field goals. So the defense, like. We can indict them all we want. We can indict Eberflus all we want on this Hail Mary play or what happened in the play before we gave them. The defense looked really good against an elite Commanders offense. We hung in with a absolute like playoff team. We hung in there with a playoff team and lost on a Hail Mary.
What do you think about Jalen Daniels?
Jalen Daniels looked good. So, I watched a lot of him play against the Ravens, and I feel the same way now as I did then. It's like he makes the plays. He is accurate. He takes what's given to him, and I just don't think he's got a lot of playmakers on his team. Like he doesn't have explosive guys who are going to take it to the house like DJ Moore on like a screen pass.
Or Swift that really kept us in the game, right?
Yeah. So truly, Jaden does not have the weapons that Caleb has.
I think he's got a good offensive line, though.
He does. No, he does.
And I think that helps a lot.
Yes, it absolutely does. But it makes him like he's got to make the plays.
He does.
No one's going to make them for him.
But he does make plays, though.
Yeah.
I think he's shifty in the pocket. He's very shifty in the pocket, and like his escapability is elite.
He was a little bit hurt, supposedly. I wasn't super, I don't think so. I wasn't super impressed by his mobility. Like he wasn't, it was good.
He had a few first downs. Like he's scrambling away. He's a small guy.
Yeah.
He's not Kyler Murray small, who we're facing this week.
He's rail thin, yeah.
He kind of reminds me of Bryce Young small. Yeah. Like, just like.
He's a skinny guy.
Yeah, put some.
No, but Jaden Daniels legit. Jaden Daniels looks really good. But here's what I'll say. So defense looked great. Mm-hmm. We held Jaden Daniels to essentially 12. Fine, we'll call it 18 points. I guess we have to. But Caleb, like through 3 quarters of like absolute anemia, like not getting anything done, that first should have been touchdown drive. I can't remember if that was the one where he floated to DJ Moore and DJ Moore got clocked and was out for a couple plays. But anyway, like he manufactured what should have been a touchdown drive before we decided to go handing the ball off to the second string center, which I can't intelligently say that was a good move. But what I will say is we don't have like a power running game.
What do you mean? Roshan is our power running game.
Roshan's kind of small. I don't know. Like to me,
he's always in on the goal line,
that happened,
and he gets in.
The fact that he fumbled it, like I said, you can't.
It was a botched handoff, dog. It wasn't even. They didn't even exchange the ball. It looks like the guy hadn't touched the ball.
He's a backup center. That's what's going to happen. It was a bad play call.
Can we just talk about really quick the Bears? And they spent all this money on all of these weapons. Yeah. And what you're going to do is you're going to hand the ball off to the backup center. Yeah. That's bad play call.
It's a bad play call, absolutely.
Even if it does work, like, is that how you want it? Like, it's like when KC did that, like, roundabout play that they ran or whatever, and they scored a touch. Do you remember that last year?
No.
They like did some like ring around the rosy thing, and then they like ended up scoring and like passing it. And
Oh, pre-snap.
Yeah, pre-snap.
The weird little spin the thing
yeah,
they did.
and they do like these. They like hike, and then they all like dance back there or whatever. Like it's cute when you win Super Bowls. Like,
But you know what? Sometimes
they're not a proven franchise.
But
What
sometimes,
are you doing? Getting
sometimes
cute?
stuff like that can kind of be like a morale thing. Like getting a
Yeah.
touchdown for an offensive lineman, I think really hypes up the offensive line group who is maligned. That's the one thing I can say to justify this. Ultimately, it's a bad call, but that's not really the point. So Caleb, I think, manufactured what should have been a touchdown drive there. The Bears, held them again, got the ball at the short field, and Caleb did it again.
Yeah.
Clutch plays,
I do see
a
that.
4th and 2, and they did it again, and they scored this time with 28 seconds to go. The Bears had this game in hand against a team that is absolutely going to be making the playoffs, who is legit, and held 18 points. Again, Eberflus is the longest coach with an active streak of holding teams under 21, and I've forgotten how many it is. I think it's like a full season worth of games at this point.
But you know what I want to hear, Johnny? I don't care about that. So I care about dubs.
Yeah, but you know,
Like you got to win the game, though,
You're
John.
right.
It's cool to hold them to under 21 points, but you got to win ball games,
Okay.
John.
Okay, so then we'll transition to the negatives. So the reason I'm starting with the positives is I feel like
Okay.
the negatives
Okay.
and the overreacting has become so hyperbolic because everyone is saying Eberflus has got to be gone, like maybe now, like fire him now, which I think is a ridiculous take.
I think so too, and I'm actually taking a closer look at the box score right now. And Caleb really, he really had a very pedestrian day. 10 for 24,
Yeah.
131
Yeah,
yards,
absolutely.
no touchdowns, no interceptions.
But 90-something yards in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, okay, fine. So DeAndre Swift had an absolute
Yes.
unbelievable game right
Yeah.
there. But it's just tough because the Bears could have won this game and should have won this game, and they did not. And I think when you start losing, and I feel like regular Bear fans, we've been hurt so many times.
Yeah. I think another thing is
that's a bad play.
is when you have a game like this that just kind of comes down to, a little bit of just bad juju and bad luck. Everyone's kind of wants someone to point fingers at, and I guess that we'll go back to this play. So then obviously shortly after the game, the Tyreek Stevenson movement come up where it was initially kind of touted as he was taunting fans. There were a lot of Bears fans at this game. Actually, I think a "Let's Go Bears" chant was audible in the fourth quarter on the televised broadcast.
Really?
So I think he found some Bears fans, and then it was just kind of hyping up. But you see, the ball is hyped, and he's looking at the crowd. Ultimately,
does it matter?
I think it does because
Well, look at this though. He's still scrambling. He's definitely in the play.
But here's the thing: is I
You
think
saying he's not focused.
I think it broke Tyreek's focus because this is not what he should be doing here.
Yeah, he should be-
He should not be jumping trying to make the hero ball play here.
There are a lot you can see. Oh, that guy's flicking him off.
And I've heard lots of people who all of a sudden are experts on how you manage this play.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
But it makes sense that a lot of people said there's one jumper.
Yeah,
Everyone
I
else is
know.
boxing out,
Yes.
and nobody boxed out the I think his name was Brown or something like that in the back. So everyone's calling for Tyreek's head, but then kind of shifting it to, well, Eberflus isn't getting his guys ready. The focus, he's the coach's guy. How is he going to address this? Is he going to bench this kid? And ultimately, I'm just trying to. I just kind of feel
What I'll say about
relax. It's a bad play. Bad plays happen.
What I'll say about Stevenson or Stevens, the problem with him is that he's a victim of the success of the secondary because Jalen Johnson on the other side is so good.
Yeah.
So every time I'm watching and they give up a pass play,
It's always a Stevenson. Yeah.
and it's I'm already kind of not negative on him to begin with, but when you're playing across one of the best corners in the league, they got to pass the ball somehow.
Yeah.
And it's always oh, Stevenson gave up another big play. So it's just I was already of course he was the one who did this.
So what is your takeaway to watching this? Do you think this is what it is?
I think
is it a sign of something bigger?
No, it's not a sign of something bigger. It's honestly an unfortunate event that occurred to the Bears. The play was a 15-second long play. Fine, so he wasn't focused or whatever, and he forgot to do what he was supposed to do. I don't know, man. The ball didn't, like I said in the beginning too. I thought the Bears were finally going to be the team that the ball fell their way.
Yeah.
That it started going their
Yeah.
way, and this is the exact opposite of that. It's like the double doink all over again, man.
And, well, you said, like, you actually texted me before the Hail Marys, like,
know,
this would be an ugly win. So first of all, shame on you for jinxing us.
Dude.
Second of all,
do you know on the bet we had for the Thursday night game for the under, I unsent my message. Did you notice that?
no.
Because we had the under and then we had the Devontae touchdown.
Yeah.
And Devontae touchdown hit, and I was like, oh, under's looking great. Can't wait.
Oh,
And
I read it, but I didn't see the U.S.
Yeah, I unsent it because I'm like, I don't want to jinx this again.
Gambling is losers for losers, by the way. But I'm on an absolute fucking heater right now, guys.
Heater.
yeah.
I rode his coattail on Halloween. He's like, I don't know why the odds were so good for Devontae anytime score and the under. Yeah,
I meant to put 50 on the under for the Halloween game, Thursday night game, Jets and
why am I blanking now too? Is it
the Jets and
who did they just beat?
Houston, Justin. So I bet the under, and then I accidentally parlayed it with a Devontae Adams anytime touchdown.
That was at plus 420.
Yeah, it was like 440 or something like that.
Yeah,
And
so I wrote
Devontae went into the locker room
with the concussion.
Came back, caught a touchdown. Good little payday for me.
Yeah, no. Glad I wrote that.
But anyway, so before you said that you were going to be able to do this, I felt like I still needed to get something out. And Tara actually said, like, well, I could do it. I got some stuff to say. And Tara actually is of the mind, like, Eberflus.
Oh, do you have an episode with Tara?
No, we were gonna do that. We were thinking about, because we went to breakfast today and we were talking about it. Tara, as a Division I athlete, who I've mentioned before, does think that stuff like this is an indication of things not being tight in the locker room. Yeah, so that was her perspective on it, which I think that there's some validity there.
These are freaking pros, though, dude.
I don't know,
like.
They talk about locker room dynamics all the time.
Fine, but like at the same time though, like he was just a guy being a guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's not like he was taunting and they threw the ball over him.
Mm-hmm.
If that was the case, you're right. I would say that he was in the play. It just didn't go our way, dude.
Yeah.
It just didn't happen. It just the plays that are supposed to come are that championship teams get, which obviously, on the contrary, the Commanders are a championship team.
Okay, so if you were Ryan Poles right now,
Yep.
I mean, the obviously the bigger underlying tones of this is like, our offense doesn't look good, and there have been lots of questions about Eberflus to begin with. If you're Ryan Poles' situation, like if you're looking at these two guys' jobs, like what's your temperature on that?
I'm gonna go back to what I said in the preseason. Like I wish we brought in Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah.
But I think this is like literally our worst nightmare. You got to ride it through and you got to see where it's at, but you got to
For how long?
Season
just okay. So you're saying I agree with that.
Yeah.
But I don't believe that there's a real world, and I'm not sure that's what I would do, and I'm glad I'm not the one making this decision. But I don't think that there's a world in which Eberflus and Waldron aren't back again next year.
They aren't back?
I think they are going to be back next year.
Dude,
I don't think there's a world in
we're
which
gonna
they
run this
get
back
fired.
again.
I believe that they will. I think Poles has kind of been very consistent in his messaging, and I think especially with Caleb Williams, is like we need to establish some sort of form of consistency. And giving a new head coach or a new playbook to Caleb Williams, I think is not what Ryan Poles is going to do.
Fine, then let's extend Eberflus today.
They might. We don't know. Like, first of all, it's not really out there. It's not really out there in the public. It's like people have talked about like some sort of secret extension, whether or not that has happened. So we don't know how much
Extend them today. Then
they might have. They might have already done it. I'm saying.
But I want you to triple down on Eberflus after this.
I think that if the wheels really fall off this year, I think I said my number in my mind is 7. I think if the Bears win 7 games, that they're going to end up running it back. But I'm going to be saying to myself, if we only win 2 games, basically that's the line where I'm just like, okay, a change needs to be made here.
So 7 and 10, right?
Yeah.
You think that's going to bring them back? I wish we documented what we said they would be at.
We did. I think you said 12 wins. I said 11.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying, but didn't we talk about the Eberflus, how many wins he needed to be to come back?
I think. Well, we talked about what would be a successful season. Like when we talked about KPIs.
Playoffs. Yeah. Oh yeah. KPIs.
Yeah. I think.
We said 10 wins, right?
I think 10 wins is probably your goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's probably like what you could call a successful season.
But you look at the schedule, man. The schedule is so tough down. Like this and I'm not trying to shift to it, but like this upcoming game against Arizona, we can talk about later.
It's a must-win.
It is an absolute must-win, and it's not just. And it can't be freaking 10-3 win, or you know what I mean, or like a 6-7. Like, it's got to be like they got to put up 30 points and not allow 21 points again.
Well, do you have anything to say about this game before we transition to kind of like reviewing our numbers here on the Cardinals?
Well, let's just say Swift
Swift has turned it on. Yes, Swift has been money.
He is what I thought he was going to be at the beginning of the season. I told you I was big on Swift. I'm really happy to see that. I'm kind of disappointed in Caleb, honestly, again, especially against his showdown against Daniels. Like, but at the end of the day, like, if they would have won the game, I would have shut my mouth.
And it would have been Caleb's first game-winning drive.
Yep.
I think Caleb, was...
No, he did. He showed a lot of poise.
Yeah.
What I will say about Caleb, he doesn't get phased.
No.
He is...
Like, he got back up, and they stuck with it.
Yeah.
And he manufactured what should have been 2 game-winning drives. Like I said, that being said,
he's a true professional.
The line was bad. Caleb did miss some throws. In the first half, there was some open stuff. There was some money to be made there that he missed. So some things got to get cleaned up here. Caleb absolutely got outplayed by Jaden Daniels.
Oh, there's no question.
But, my last thing to say about the Eberflus and Waldron situation, because if the Bears win 7 games, I think the season is still a failure. But I think that you can go into the offseason being like, okay, we still got this cap space. We got a bunch of draft picks.
Not a bunch. Not as much as last year.
No, we got more than last year. Well, at the very, I mean, yeah.
We don't have 2 first-round picks. Well, maybe.
We didn't have 2 first-round picks. Well, yeah, we did have 2. We did, okay, but...
that's hard to get, but technically, if we get pick 33, it's basically a first-round pick.
Which is very... we're going to get a high-end second-round pick.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson is probably going to play the season out, but maybe he gets hurt, and then we get a 4th-round pick. So basically, we're going to have, 3 picks in the first 50 probably, and we'll be able to address the offensive line. We'll be able to go out and spend some probably. I think next year is probably the year. Going into the season, neither one of us think this is like the all-in year. Like, this is in the window and win the Super Bowl. I think that probably opens next year. So I think as long as we're showing continual progression, which our defense is continuing to do, and I do have faith that this offense can turn it around. We've seen it from time to time. So I don't think we throw the baby out with the bathwater unless things start to get really embarrassing here on out. And I think winning 2 of our next, 2 of our next 9 games, I think that'd be embarrassing. I think someone's head's got to roll.
Yeah, well, they can. So they got a nice little stretch in this season right now, right? When we were first looking at this too, we're like, oh, Commanders, they're not going to be any good.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out they're pretty good.
And unfortunately, we thought the Cardinals were going to be looking a little more visible than they were. But the Cardinals have kind of been all over the place. So you want to pull up their games, and I got some of their ranks here.
Let me preface this first. So do you remember 3 or 4 years ago when the Bears were just absolutely miserable, and everyone we in our group were adopt another team?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Do you remember what team I picked?
I know you were a big Kyler guy for a while.
Picked the Cardinals.
Okay.
I watched the Cardinals, and Kyler's back. He's home again. He's back on my fantasy team. I've now owned Kyler basically since he's come into the league, except for the 1 year he was hurt when you owned him, and you traded him back to me.
Yeah.
I watched the Cardinals a lot.
I've never really been a believer.
Dude,
but what are your feelings?
So let me tell you, I do watch the Cardinals. The Cardinals are a high-octane, play fast. They are literally like a fantasy football dream. They're amazing, but when they are off, Johnny, dude, it is ugly. But when they're on and they're in sync, dude, they can put up 45 points no problem at all. Their weapons that they have over there are Marvin Harrison Jr., who literally either goes for 200 yards or goes for nothing. James Conner, who, if you remember from Pittsburgh, phenomenal. He's having a great season again. No one talks about him enough. Of course, Kyler. We all know about Kyler. Trey what's his name? McBride, yeah. Great tight end. Probably the second best tight end in the league. But they have weapons. They know how to use it. Here's the thing, though. Their defense sucks, and that's why they got to score so many points.
Their defense isn't terrible, but the defense is bad.
The defense is real bad.
So the Arizona's offense averages 22.3 points a game, which is 18th in the league. Do you know what the Bears average?
Oh, man.
That's actually kind of surprising.
Well, because now I started remember, they had a couple huge games.
Yes.
So I'll say they're 25?
Not quite 25, 23.3, but they're number 15 in the league. So more points per game than the Cardinals.
Yep.
And then the defense allows 25.6. That's the 24th in the league compared to the Bears, who allows 17, which is number 4th in the league. Bears are 4th in the league in scoring defense. I think we cannot forget about that. Sure. So for rushing, here's what the problem. The Cardinals average 5.2 per rush, and some of that's probably baked into Kyler Murray scrambles.
Yes.
The Bears are not a great rushing defense. The Bears' rushing defense, they're 23rd in the league in terms of yards per rush. And the number 14 in overall rushes per game. It's not bad. So they're kind of middle in the road. The Bears really shut down the pass, and I've heard a lot of people express some concerns about the Bears able to kind of lock down Kyler Murray, and keeping him in the pocket.
Yep.
Which I think could definitely be an issue.
So the thing about Kyler Murray is he's shifty, so he's small. Actually, I'm looking at the schedule right now. The Panthers. Sorry, I'm tired, dude. I haven't been sleeping a lot, obviously. You know how many poopy diapers I changed today?
How many poopy diapers did you change?
6. 4 for my newborn and 2 for my son. It's awful. I'm not getting a lot of sleep. I'm looking at the Arizona Cardinals schedule right now. So they actually played Washington week 4, and they lost 42-14. But since then, they beat San Francisco 24-23. If you remember that game, I actually do remember that game. Lost to Green Bay, then beat the Chargers and beat Miami, who just got Tua back. They won a stunner 28-27. So what that tells me is that when they're in games, they're very, very tight, and the ball's bouncing their way. But when they're out, they are out of the game.
I'm trying to find Kyler Murray's kill-to-death ratio.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think that information exists as far as I can tell. So the newest Call of Duty did just come out.
Yep, I'm
and
aware.
There are some memes out there, and my brother is actually watching us right now. Actually shared with me an article that apparently Kyler Murray's stats, player stats, are actually worse during double XP weekends.
Yep.
I looked at the numbers myself, and I don't think that they're like. They might be statistically significant, but they're not like. They're not like going to translate to wins and losses. We're talking about a couple of percentage points in passing. We're talking about like a QBR, like a couple of points. Not terrible.
So we're talking.
But it'd be fun to think about.
Like I said, I have owned Kyler his entire existence in the NFL and in fantasy football. So I watch a lot of Kyler Murray. That narrative, I love it because it gives me an excuse. But like Kyler is a small man. He's like 5'9", maybe 100.
Do you think he has a custom controller?
100%.
Yeah.
He's a sniper. Did you know? Yes.
Oh, is that his thing?
He's got like the longer extenders on the sticks.
Interesting.
So he can get more precise.
I was totally just joking. I was making a small hands joke as opposed to like.
Oh.
And how do you know that he's got extended? Well, you really got into Kyler Murray.
Dude, I got a Kyler Murray jersey, man. I love Kyler. I got the black jersey too because I like black. I think it's tight. All that being said, the Bears defense need to shut Kyler down. If Kyler scores negative points for fantasy football, I'm going to be happy. I am willing to take a loss in fantasy, even though I won't, but I'm willing to take a loss to watch this win. But the problem is that we know Kyler can.
The other narrative circling around this game is Eberflus has an absolutely terrible record on the road.
Yes.
Though Arizona is typically like a what's the word I'm looking for? It's kind of a place where people go.
Yeah, it's like Vegas.
A lot of people aren't like from their lifetime, so there's going to be a heavy Bears contingent there.
So
it's going to feel like London, I think.
So like a lot of people retire from Chicago.
Yeah.
They go to Florida or they go to Arizona. Right. My mom's side, they all go to Arizona. A ton of Chicagoans flock down to Arizona. They love it down there. They like that dry heat crap. They rather take the 120-degree weather, but like get AC, whatever. But yeah, no, there's a lot of Chicago fans down there.
I ultimately think that this is going to be a win. I think that the finals. I'm going to.
Jenny, it has to be a win.
Yeah. No,
I don't think. I know
it has to be. I mean, at least we've got potentially a get-right game in our future against the Patriots. But then it's all.
Drake May looks okay.
Is he going to play? Is he hurt a little bit?
Yeah, I think
the Patriots don't. The Patriots don't look okay.
Yeah.
Like I don't think we can lose to the Patriots. So we might enter the divisional games with a winning record. Might. Wait, am I forgetting something here? So Bears are now 4-3, correct? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, and then so it's Cardinals, Patriots, Packers, I believe.
Yep.
And the Packers are at home.
Cardinals,
as are the Patriots.
I can't believe we're already fucking. I can't believe how far we're into the season.
Yeah,
it's
man.
already week 9.
We're way through it. We're getting through it. So yeah, I agree. This has got to be a win. I mean, thankfully we got at least one cookie left, but then there's like no easy wins from there on out. Nobody. Fortunately, the Vikings have been looking more beatable.
They have, actually.
The Packers have been looking pretty beatable.
No, who's not?
The Lions.
The Lions.
But they're without Aiden Hutchinson because
Doesn't
he
matter.
would have eaten up Caleb with that offensive line. Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. I don't think it matters either. But the Bears always play the Lions really well, and you know what the Lions have not had to deal with yet?
A good defense?
Cold weather. That was the statistic that was coming out. No, don't roll your eyes. That was the statistic that came out for Jared Goff. Jared Goff is great on turf, great indoors. And you know what? He's had they have not had decisive wins against the Bears since he's been there, and they've been good for a couple of years.
So I guess they play in week 16, so that's December 22nd, which is good.
Hey man, if that line comes out egregious, Bears plus 7.5, I'd hammer that.
You know what our buddy Tony said that was interesting? The interesting stat. Did you remember what it is?
What?
The Detroit, everyone that plays the Detroit Lions the next week
Gets their doors blown off. Yeah,
Yes.
I heard that on the radio actually.
That is an unbelievable stat. So what that tells me is that when you play the Lions,
You're beat up the next week. Yeah.
And I believe it because I watch the games and I'm like, dude, they got Monty throwing passes on a pitch play. Like, dude, they're just having fun out there, man. I'm jealous of them. So actually, interesting enough, the reason I brought that up too is because when I looked at the schedule, week 16 we play Detroit Sunday 12 p.m. at home. We then have to go and we have to play Thursday night.
Okay.
At Seattle. Oh no, home.
Okay.
Home Seattle.
Right.
But short week. So what I'm saying though is that
short week after playing the Lions, yeah.
And
not a good way.
And that's supposed to be one of the easier wins for us coming down the stretch because
Seattle's another one
Seattle's who knows?
I don't know who Seattle is. So I don't know. I mean, a lot of question marks on, but I think I could feel pretty good about the Bears' chances of finishing it out if they can bounce back against the Cardinals. That's what this game is going to be. Okay, so everyone's saying the locker room is divided. All these players are coming out and questioning Eberflus's calls. If Eberflus is the guy and the players on the team believe that he is the guy, come out and rally for him.
I agree.
Come out and play play hard, being hey, this is our coach.
Yep.
Our locker room is solid. We had a bad week. We're all really pissed about it. We're taking it seriously, and just come out and just beat down a mediocre team.
It is a mediocre team.
That's what it comes down to.
It's a good team to beat up, right?
Yeah.
I wish it was the Patriots, honestly, because that would be even better.
I'd feel better. No, right now, I was saying on our last podcast, I wasn't ready for the Bears to be tested because it's just emotionally playing a good team and see how they were going. But you know what? They didn't pass the test, but they showed that they deserved to be there. They weren't a sixth grader taking the bar exam.
Yeah.
They were at least in the same they had taken that class. They deserved to be there. So I'm glad that we get a chance to bounce back against a team that people aren't just going to be well, it's the Patriots, so it doesn't really matter. The Bears are still frauds. So I think if the Bears can actually pull out a win here and the offense looks a little bit better, which they can't look much worse.
You know what the line is right now, John?
It was hovering between 2.5 and 3.5. Bears underdog. No, it was 1.5. Bears underdogs 1.5.
Bears are underdog 2 points right now. 2
points?
That's interesting.
They look pretty bad. People aren't high on them.
I knew a lot of specifically Bears fans that had Bears money line. I think we all did, and I knew some other people that did too. And everyone lost.
Yeah,
it was tough.
But you know what? Here's the thing.
I'm still up on the Bears this season, which is good.
Yeah, the Bears. We haven't seen the Bears get blown out yet this year, and they're not going to. The Bears are always going to keep games tight, and they're going to cover from time to time just because people aren't scoring against them. Who's the number one scoring defense? There's 3 teams above the Bears. I wonder who 1, 2, and 3 are.
I think Pittsburgh.
Let's see here. Chargers, Pittsburgh, Denver.
Told you Pittsburgh would be up there.
I didn't realize the Chargers were. What's the Chargers? Right?
Well, it's points. Wait, that's points per game.
Points allowed per game.
Oh, is that what you were looking for?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kansas City number 5. Wow.
Kansas City's got a great defense this year. Who's the worst?
The worst. 33.9 points a game for Carolina.
Actually, I knew that.
Full 5.5 points above the next, which is Dallas.
That's a get right team right there. Is the Carolina Panthers? They are bad.
Yeah, they're going to be in. There's no way that they're going to be not in last place.
There's all kind of decently bunched, right? And then the outlier is just Carolina.
Yeah, this is like looking at the MLB White Sox.
Yeah, right. They are so bad, dude. They are atrocious.
White Sox just hired a new manager.
I don't care.
We'll see how it goes.
It's
All right.
it's not stats for me.
Last thing from around the league, just like really quickly, you said you wanted to talk about this a little bit. Anthony Richardson got benched. In a previous podcast, we did say I was going to give this away. Nobody's score was close. Michael, you're probably the closest. We'll figure out a way to give this card away, but I think it's got to be on a better situation than that.
Eat it, Steve. Okay.
No, you're good.
I just want to talk about this real quick because I want to bring this back to the Tom Brady thing.
Okay.
From which I actually started believing in, and I want to kind of not parlay it into, but talk about Caleb in general. And like I think Jaden Daniels is good. Okay, he is pro ready. He's shown it. He's great. I think Patrick Mahomes, pro ready, great, like ready to go, right? But
Patrick Mahomes?
like when he came into the league,
Patrick Mahomes sat for a while.
yeah, but I'm just saying though,
Okay.
like not many people possess that trait, is what I'm saying. Okay, only a few do. Like Caleb is still young. You can't give up on him this early. Is all I'm gonna say. Even if they fall flat and they don't win another game this season, it can't be we're done. Like that's all I'm saying. It's development. You have to develop the player over time. I wish I had more faith in the coaching staff to do it.
I think we kind of feel this that statistic, like all these conversations about the young quarterbacks not working. I think it really comes from this draft, the 2021 draft, where 8 quarterbacks were taken in the first round and a half, and none of them are any good, except for maybe you can argue Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, he might be third string. Trey Lance, I don't even know where he is anymore. Dallas still? Okay. Fields, we all know. We talk about Fields ad nauseum. Mac Jones.
Where's Mac Jones right now? Do you know?
Where's Mac Jones?
Jacksonville.
Okay.
Yes.
Kyle Trask, don't know who this is. Yeah. Kellen Mond, don't know who this is. Davis Mills, I think he actually got some starts.
At Texans.
Yeah,
he's got the really long neck.
Yeah, before. So I mean, I think this draft really messed things up in terms of like our young quarterbacks.
Yeah, but still though.
But obviously, Kenny Pickett, wasn't great. I think that
Will Levis
isn't great.
Bryce Young.
I think everyone kind of knew that Will Levis wasn't going to be great. Bryce Young is obviously a big problem. So I mean, I think we might see a shift, like trusting your team with like more veteran quarterbacks. You get a veteran quarterback, and hey, you're going to be the guy for the next 2 or 3 years.
The problem,
you're going to have a rookie. We're going to draft a rookie quarterback,
and he's just going to sit.
Yeah, and
back to the Packers model.
Yeah,
the Jordan Love model, the Aaron Rodgers model. It works.
Yeah.
And I'll close with this. My bad.
We tried to do it for Justin Fields.
What if we decide to sit Caleb the rest of the year?
That makes no sense.
I'm just saying.
It would make no sense to do it.
Say we lose the next 2 games.
No, I think if we had the right veteran quarterback at the beginning of the season, I could get behind that.
Tyson Bagent isn't the guy. You don't want to see Bagent out there.
Yeah, but he's not. I would be.
And he could. He could get some dubs for us.
You know how I feel about Tyson Bagent, and I would like to see him play, but he's not.
He sits up here for every single pie.
But he's not a veteran guy that Caleb Williams is going to be able to learn from. I think if we had an Andy Dalton like we tried to do, or if we had like a Ryan Fitzpatrick, like someone who like.
Fitzpatrick still he's commentating on Thursday Night Football. I'm sure.
Just for example, I'm talking like those journeyman guys like
Joe Flacco.
Yeah, Joe Flacco's. But
know who else would probably want to play? Philip Rivers. I bet he still wants to play.
Yeah, exactly. But something exactly like that.
Philip Rivers.
If we wanted to commit that this is a transition year, which I don't think anyone in Chicago really wanted to do. But you could make that argument. But it's hard to do because typically when you're drafting these good quarterbacks, you're dog shit.
Yeah.
And you don't really have the luxury of like a decent quarterback in waiting. Yeah.
Okay, Philip Rivers is 42. I'm gonna do one other thing. Yeah.
What?
I just want to look.
Yeah, Philip Rivers is too old to play quarterback. Maybe one of his kids is getting to be that age.
Okay, so here's some free agents out there right now. Just to put it out.
I don't think there's a ton out there. Jameis. Jameis would, it'd be...
Love me. Okay, best quarterback out there right now is Ryan Tannehill.
All right. Yeah, I mean, Tannehill had some decent years.
Ryan Tannehill was a first-round pick, actually. I think, did he come from... I don't want to get this wrong, because I'm sure Jeff Dahlberg's going to fact-check me.
Here's what... Okay, so...
Alabama?
This isn't a situation...
A&M. I knew it was SEC school.
So this isn't a situation the Bears could do now. I'm not saying they pick up Tannehill. But if you're a team like... I'm
just throwing it out there.
If you
Developmental.
If you are Carolina, and let's just say for the sake of argument, you're done with Bryce Young, maybe your plan is to be, and I'm not sure with the quarterback. I'm not sure if there's a clear number 1 overall quarterback in the current draft class that's coming up.
I think there is.
I have no idea. But say they decide to do that, like, and yeah, I'd pick up Tannehill. Like, hey, this is your gig for at least a year. But we got to know that you're going to help develop this guy behind you. We're going to pay you well to do it. And that rookie quarterback is not seeing barring an injury, is not seeing the field for that year. That's how I would play it. I think that's probably the reasonable way to play it.
Dude, they got Cam Ward. I don't know much about him. They have him going number 1 to the Panthers again. Anyways, number 2 they got Sam.
So is that two number 1 quarterbacks in 3 years?
Yeah, 2 number 1 quarterbacks
Oh my
in 3
fucking
years.
God.
Yeah, it's like the Browns all over again. I guess someone's got to be the Browns. Hey, this is the interesting thing too. So pick number 2,
Someone's got to be the Browns.
They have the Tennessee Titans drafting Deion Sanders' son.
Okay.
And then number 3, they got Travis Hunter. So 2 of the top 3 picks come from Colorado.
Okay.
It's
Who's
ridiculous.
Travis Hunter?
That's the guy who plays both ways. He plays quarterback. He plays wide receiver and cornerback.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's kind of a pretty good athlete.
Right.
But still, it's crazy. Like Colorado's like barely even ranked. They're like ranked 24th.
But 2 guys in the first 2 rounds?
Like,
Or first three picks?
yeah, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. So that's all I got, Johnny. I can't believe we're dogs.
Dogs in this game?
Yeah, we got to win it though, man. It's a must-win for the Bears.
Absolutely.
If they lose, I don't know what I'm gonna do, John.
Like I said, I think I could quiet all this panic that's being heard on the radio if they come out and they play for their boys, they play for their coach.
Yep.
Which it'll be telling. It'll be telling how you respond to a game like this. And part of me is excited just to see and just to know, because if they come out absolutely flat, I'll be like, okay, we're not there.
Yeah.
We're just not there, and then we need to start thinking for the future.
Eberflus isn't it. Waldron isn't it. Let's just move on now.
Yeah.
Cardinals losses. Sign Tannehill.
See how many games we can lose. We could probably lose out and still get a top 5 pick.
Yeah, dude. Tank for. Who do we want? I'm kidding. No, I'm not making that proclamation.
Is the Texas guy who's the starter
Archie?
above Archie?
Yeah,
He's not entering the draft.
He
this year,
is.
he?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
he is. I don't want him though.
No.
I want the best offensive lineman.
Offensive line. Those first 3 picks, I wouldn't even care.
Could you imagine? That would be.
I think it'd probably be what they do.
Cameron Williams is the best from Texas.
Okay.
And then they got another guy.
What position is he?
He's a tackle.
Yeah, that's what we need.
Then they got another tackle from Texas. Then they got another tackle from LSU.
So
just give them all to us. We'll take them all.
Yeah, I could see like Poles trading up for.
Oh, that Ashton Gently guy or whatever. Have you seen this dude
No.
from Boise State?
Who is he?
Dude, he's gonna break. He may break Ladainian Tomlinson's record for rushing. He is insane.
What's his name? Genty.
He is insane. Yeah, like
What does he play?
just his high. He's a
running
running back, and they're joking like he's like Mike Myers back there. So he the way he stands in the back.
Oh yeah, he's the one that just stands straight up. I have seen him. That's kind of funny.
But he is a freaking beast out there.
Yeah.
They got him going 13th overall, and he is, dude, he's pretty amazing. He's got like 9 yards per carry, something ridiculous. So
I mean, maybe the Bears also go for an edge rusher. If the Bears have, let's say, the 15th pick in the
20
draft.
TDs already. That's
The Bears have the 15th pick in the draft. Are you going edge rusher or are you going tackle?
tackle,
Tackle?
100%.
I would say so too.
I know. I don't care if it's tackle, guard, or center. Just best available, best available offensive lineman. Joe Alt.
We've been talking. Yeah, Joe been playing good? Has he been doing
Yeah,
well?
remember I told you he went 1-on-1 against Max
I
Crosby.
did
Remember?
see- we did
And you're
watch.
like, that's boring. I'm like, it's not freaking boring until you win football games. That's how you win, John.
An interesting. I want to put this out in the universe. Bears win. Cowboys lose. Trade deadline on Tuesday. They go out and grab Marcus Parsons. What if? Or the same thing going for the Raiders. Max Crosby.
I don't know if the offense is ready.
I agree. But if the offense looks good,
But
and Ryan Poles is
the
getting antsy.
Cardinals aren't they're not gonna be a team. And I don't think the offense is ready to make
I want something exciting. I want something exciting
to
come out of this.
revitalize the fan base.
I think something a little stagnant. I would love to see another player that we can trust to have around for the next 2 or 3 years. I hope that we make some sort of move. I haven't been hearing much in the rumor mill. But that's what I'm going to put out in the universe is if the Bears can get a win, the Raiders or the Cowboys. If the Cowboys have another loss, I think the nail is in the coffin for this year.
But yeah, we'll see.
I don't know if the offense is ready. If you asked me last week before this Washington game, I would have said yes. Okay, but like after this loss and the way they lost, I don't know.
All right. Well, I think that's all I got, Kev.
Yeah, dude. Let's go Bears.
If you're still watching, you're a real one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Kevin, I'm not wearing a hat this week. You want to send us off? Let's go Bears. Bear down. Peace. Alrighty.
How long was that? It's like 2 o'clock.